Wait, there wasn't any manhandling or poking of dough from Paul during bread week? I gotta say, I kind of missed it. It's bread week on the Great British Baking Show, which is always a really scary week. Bakers are just freaked out because this is Paul's specialty and he's always like poking around with his big old fingers into their bakes. But this week we didn't have any of that. Did he get a talking to? By the way, if you haven't watched this episode yet, I am gonna spoil it for you here in about 10 seconds. So if you wanna watch it, head over to Netflix and watch it and come back here. Okay, here goes. So I was not surprised at all with who won Star Baker this week. Jasmine, congrats Jasmine. She's done really good on the episodes up till now, and during bread week she pretty much crushed it on every single challenge. But what I was shocked by was who went home, which is Pui Man. Her showstopper was really good, but she didn't do good in the sig or the tech, which looking back that seems to be her trend, is she doesn't do great in the sig or tech and then just like crushes it in the showstopper. This week it wasn't enough, so she went home. But as the show goes on, once you become close to these bakers and they become your friends, I mean, they're my friend. I'm not their friend. They have no idea who I am, but they become your friends. God, I sound like such a creep right now. So every week that someone goes home, it's kind of a shocker. But especially for bread week, there wasn't a whole lot of catastrophes or disasters, and there were some really good bakes this week. Jasmine just totally dominated in every challenge this week, and she opened up about her alopecia, which I'm sure wasn't easy for her, but I think a lot of people were curious about that. Apparently she had hair up until she was 12 and then lost it all, and they don't know why. But as I've said before, she looks gorgeous without hair. If I could guarantee that I would look even close to that, maybe I would think about shaving my head, but so good job, Jasmine. To me, up there at the top is Jasmine and still Tom. He's doing really good too. I am personally so scared of making bread. I've never tried it besides some cinnamon rolls that turned out okay. Every time I Google bread, it pulls up sourdough, and sourdough just seems like a whole thing. Like they talk about a starter and I don't even know what that means. Someone told me to try artisan bread that only has like 4 ingredients. So I think I might try that. Although if anyone can mess up just using 4 ingredients, it's going to be me. The signature challenge, which was making monkey bread. Oh my God, looks so good. By the way, I was like, what the hell is monkey bread? Prue said they call it that because it's this pull apart thing that resembles how monkeys eat things. I'm like, that sounds made up. But then I Googled it and yeah, that's one of the reasons why. So sorry, Prue. Pui Man was cracking me up because she admitted on camera that she loves watching Paul handle bread and she thinks he's very handsome and very sexy. And she also totally put her foot in her mouth when he came over and was talking to her about her bake and she was making milk bread and she called him out and said that he didn't have the recipe for milk bread in his book. And he was like, yeah, I do. Oops. I'm sure she got a little flustered after that. Putting my foot in my mouth is something I do quite well. So Pui Man, I got you. I was watching this episode coming back from a work thing on the plane and I was so hungry. All I had was like some nuts and some water. I was pissed. These monkey breads look so good with like cheese and nuts and fruit and herbs. Wait, am I hungry right now? Except for Aaron's. His looked really like brown and flat and dense and sad. Also, what's up with Paul getting into the baker's heads? He came up to Jasmine and was asking her about her flavors, and she was saying she was using Nduha. I had never heard of it before, and actually her and Nadia were using it. And he's like, oh, why don't you try olives and coriander? Like trying to make her second guess herself. He made it sound like that was a way better idea than what she was doing, but she still crushed it. So good job, Jasmine. The tech this week was making donuts, and no, I will not be trying this recipe. Still recovering from my fondant fancy trauma from a couple weeks ago. If you want to see me attempt those, I'll link the video down below. But that and the fact that donuts require an air fryer. I'm also recovering from a burn here from the oven. So no, I do not need an air fryer. But this challenge made me nervous about Paul's heart health because he said his like dream meal or something would be a bunch of hot dogs followed by a bunch of donuts. I hope he's eating something green here and there. Techie Toby has been dethroned. He did not win the technical this week. Jasmine did. Congrats, Jasmine. And Pui Mans came in last, which sucks because she said that she actually makes donuts a lot, so it just didn't come together for her. I'm sure that was really annoying. Okay, I mentioned I was watching this episode on the plane and I was absolutely starving, right? These showstoppers, which were literally tiers of sweet bread, oh my God, they were killing me. Like just fill some sweet bread with something soft and delicious and yeah. They had 5 hours for this challenge, which sounds like a lot. It goes by really fast in the kitchen. Remember the fondant fancies? I think in the technical challenge a couple weeks ago, the bakers had 2 hours. It took me 2 days. to do these, and they were not good. Anyways, for this challenge, we've got Aaron's with pistachio marzipan, cherries, and apricots. Tom's was a tower of cinnamon rolls with orange cream cheese. Jasmine's had cinnamon and cardamom. Pui Man sounded really good with coconuts and cherries. And actually, there was a little competition. Well, actually, I mean, this whole thing is a competition, but there was a little competition between Leslie and Natalia because they both picked a karavai, which is a Ukrainian wedding cake. Natalia is actually from Ukraine, so I was like, she's got this in the bag. Actually, she didn't. Leslie's came out a lot better. And Nadia also made a wedding cake, which I think may or may not have been a subtle or not so subtle hint to her boyfriend, who has not put a ring on it yet. And is it just me, or are guys like notoriously bad at taking hints? Women, I think, are pretty good. Guys, no. Even Allison directly to camera called him out. So maybe that did it for him. I don't know. But just put a ring on it. She's awesome. Also, how does Tom's go from this to this? Dog shit? Not dog shit. Dog shit? Not dog shit. Don't you think we had so many good bakes this week and not a lot of huge disasters? I mean, there were some bakes like Toby's, Jessica's, Natalia's that weren't so great. Ian actually got some pretty harsh feedback this week. One I was really surprised by was Aaron's. I think if he would have done better in the SIG and the tech, he could have won Star Baker this week, don't you think? And it was just so sweet at the end, like how emo he was getting with his. Noel and Allison even came and like tackled him in this big bear hug. It was really cute. This was a really fun episode and very successful considering it was bread week. I wonder if Paul was happy. Is he ever happy? If you like this video and want to see more, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.